I was actually selected to the Geometry Dash Awards jury. If you're not aware, they actually introduced a new system for this year's GD Awards. Due to the common criticism of levels only winning because they're too popular, they introduced a jury system where everybody could vote on their favorite members of the community to be a part of the jury. And the jury would vote as normal, but their votes make up 50% of the votes. Somehow, I got enough votes to be selected to the jury of 200 people, which is unreal. I have no idea who voted for me or why, but I thank everybody that did. Either way though, as a jury, it is my due diligence to vote correctly, and I have the correct opinions, nobody else.
Stop the cap.
So I'm on the form here, which is going to be a little censored because it shows my email and stuff. I don't want you guys knowing my email, but this is basically what it looks like. Welcome to the Geometry Dash Awards 2025. In each of the 18 categories, there are numerous nominees that were chosen from the community suggestions. Now, we need your help to decide the final winner in their respective categories. Before voting, you can watch the video link, blah, 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 blah. I got it. So I've already watched the video. I know what levels are nominated. I don't know all of the levels, so whenever there's a level I don't know, I'm going to play it or watch it and see what I think afterwards. I always want to make sure that I'm judging as fairly as possible and not just going based off what I know, because there might be a banger I didn't know about. So for best auto level, first of all, I've beaten every auto level, or at least I had at some point, so I know all these levels, and they're all good, but Punched by BPI is really the one that does it for me more than any other level. I think the graphic effects in this level are just absolutely insane. The visual effects and just the fluidity of the movement of everything is so satisfying, and I've looked back at this one multiple times. I really like it, so this one's a pretty easy pick for me. I'm going Punched by BPI. For best beginner classic here, it's already getting a lot harder for me because we have two of my favorite levels that have come out last year in general. Abducted by Vegtam and Boogie by Kanat, those are some of my favorite levels in all of 2025 throughout the whole form. So, oh man, this is going to be difficult. I've seen the other four levels. They're good levels, don't get me wrong, but they don't really do it for me as much as these two levels. I really like these. Kanat is one of my really good friends, so this level obviously has some bias towards me, but I am not that biased, really. And because of that, I really have to pick Abducted, because I think this one just has to be my favorite. This one just absolutely blew me away from the moment I saw it. The effects, the song, everything is just insane. As much as I like Boogie, I think Abducted just does it a little bit more for me. I really love this level. It has so much personality. So yeah, I'm going Abducted by Vegtam, but it's close. Boogie is really good. We're at Best Intermediate Classic now. We have Edicarnus, Project Nova Form, Funhouse, Out of Place, Stronghold, GD Gangster Rap, Final Orbit, and Aperture. I've beaten all of these levels, and they're all really good. They're all really good. If I were to pick one from each row, I would say Project Nova Form does it more than Edicarnus. This is already so hard. See, Rafer is one of my favorite creators of all time, if not my favorite, but as good as Funhouse is, it's not really my favorite level of all time. I like it, but I think Rafer's past levels do it more for me. I think I have to choose Out of Place here. Stronghold and GD Gangster Rap, I'm going GD Gangster Rap, and I'm definitely going Aperture over Final Orbit. So if I were to wean it down even more now, Out of Place versus Project Nova Form, I'd choose Out of Place. And GD Gangster Rap versus Aperture, I'd have to choose Aperture. Yeah, I think this one is gonna go to Aperture overall for me. This level is absolutely insane. I mean, that 3D part literally changed the game. Like, I still don't know how you even think of that. I don't know how you do that at all. How? Anyways, moving on. We have Best Advanced Classic. All right. Once again, I've beaten all of these levels. Have I beaten Zero Exit? Okay, I have beaten Zero Exit. So yeah, it's funny because I look at all these levels and they're all amazing. And now, obviously, without the jury, you'd think, oh, popularity contest. Everybody knows Skeletal Shenanigans is obviously just gonna win. But if you look at all these levels, you know, the more active GD player who knows like all of these, like me, is gonna look at this with a little more scrutiny and be like, okay, but these levels are also really good. But the thing is, at least with me, I still look at Skeletal Shenanigans and I'm like, wow, this is probably one of the best levels ever made. It's just so good. Like, all the keyframes and fluid animation, the art style, the theming, the way it goes with the song, it's all just fantastic. I want to give a shout out to Space Invaders because that would probably be my second place pick. This level is awesome, but I have to go Skeletal Shenanigans. Even though it's already bound to get the popular vote just because of how popular it is, this level is just so good. Alright, moving on to the next page, we have Best Expert Classic. Now, at this point, I haven't beaten all these levels. I actually have beaten the first 3, though. So, all these levels are great. I would say the bottom 2 don't really do it for me as much as the top 4. And out of these top 4, I would say my top 2 are Heavy Gears and Deep Echo. Both are really good levels, but for me personally, I think Heavy Gears just blows all these levels out of the water. Heavy Gears is one of the coolest levels that has, like, ever come out. The mix of, like, art, Devin 2003, and Rob Top, all these crazy colors, crazy gameplay, it all comes together for such a beautiful level. It's also really fun as well, which, I mean, a lot of these other levels are really fun too, but yeah, I have to go with Heavy Gears here. This level is insane. Best Extreme Classic here, we have Rivers of Nazareth, Video, Without You, Flame Wall, Redeemer, Grand Eclipse, and Controlled Chaos. Extremely stacked category. These levels are awesome, but I've actually only beaten 1 level in this category, and that's because when I first saw this level, I think I was on vacation. Literally, it was all I could think of until I got home. I was like, I have to beat this as soon as I get home. And I did, and the level was amazing, and that is Without You. Probably the biggest scam out of Mythic that I've seen, honestly. This level's just masterclass in design, honestly. It really doesn't get much better than this. Redeemer, again, it's by somebody that I'm close with. He's been in some of my collabs before. I really like Surveyor 23, but I just have to be honest, I just love Without You. I love this level so much. 10 out of 10. And now we're moving on to the platformer, which is where I start to know less of the levels. I do have over 10,000 boons because I have every achievement. So I have played a fair bit of platformers, but there are going to be quite a few that I just haven't even heard of in this. So I'm going to go and play those or watch them whenever I don't know them. And right off the bat, I do know all of these levels. I've beaten 3 of them, but I've never heard of Unnerved Main Menu, and that one looked really cool in the video. So I'm going to have to check that out real quick. What the? That's me, bro. Wait, what? That was just me. Wait, is that like actually my icon? Bro, how does this work? Okay, I just realized I'm actually way above what I needed for this level. Where do I go? Okay, so I can say I've seen all these levels now, and I have to say that is a really good one. Fire in the House doesn't really have a whole lot of replay value. Really Fun Golf is fun. It's based off one of my favorite mobile games, but I'd say the visuals aren't all there. Really Evil Baseball by one of my friends. That level's really funny, but I don't know about the best. I don't know. To me, this is between Really Evil Baseball and Unnerved Main Menu, and so here's the thing. I've seen the gimmick in Unnerved Main Menu before, but I've also seen the gimmick in Really Evil Baseball because it is a direct parody of Really Fun Golf by creator of Really Fun Baseball by creator Creepy, which is, it's an interesting level. I think Unnerved Main Menu just has the most enjoyment value out of playing. That and Really Fun Golf, but Unnerved Main Menu just has the up on gameplay. I have to give it to Unnerved Main Menu. That was a hard one. And we have Best Intermediate Platformer. We have Feature Grungus, Polychrome, Honey Pop, Displacement, Espionazionone, and Mind Block. Oh, and the Sneaky Hollow. Okay. Stacked category. Only problem is I have not seen 3 of these levels. I've actually never heard of Honey Pop, Displacement, or Mind Block. So I'm gonna have to play all 3 of these levels. Bro, isn't Honey Pop the name of that, like, interesting game? I don't know if that's a coincidence or not, but that is funny. Back in my day, we used to watch EVW play that game. So this is like Subnautica, but a GD level. I see what this level is going for. I don't really think I'm a huge fan of it, though, personally. What is happening? What? Why was there a bucket? Alright, well, I think this is only like the halfway point in the level. It's a good level, but it's not really my thing fully, so I'm gonna move on to the next one. This one has really nice looking visuals. Oh, that's sick. Yep, I get what we're doing here. Huh? Alright, so I died due to a bug at the very end of the level. Still a really cool level, though. Last level I need to play here is Mind Block. Whoa. 1 out of 10. What'd I do? Okay, whatever I'm doing right now must be for a coin. I'm not sure what this is about. Get it! Get it! Get it! Come on. Yeah! Alright, this is a little too crazy. End. Coin up there. Create your own shape. Oh my god, did I finally figure it out? Dude. That really sucks, because I was loving that level until that ending. It seemed way harder to figure out. You had to do a very specific shape. Okay, so that was a really cool level, but even though I played these 3 that I had never played before, I think I still like Polychrome more than any of these. This level is just so creative. But not only is it creative, it's fun, which, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, Mind Block and Displacement are also fun, but, like, Polychrome really does it in the gameplay aspect, and the only other one that really does it like that in this category, in my opinion, is the Sneaky Hollow. But the Sneaky Hollow might be fun in gameplay, but it kind of lacks a bit in visuals, and I think it's better in the video as an overall thing. It's funny, but I think Polychrome that's gotta be it for me. Best Advanced Platformer. Now, I've not beaten all of these, but I know enough about them to be able to fairly judge them. And again, it's like a lot of these levels are very beautiful, but I just personally found so much replay value and just enjoyment in the gameplay out of RGB by 7 Roto. The other levels, like the Towerverse 2 is really good, but RGB is just one of the most fun platformer demons I think I've ever played, so I have to choose it. Alright, and we have Best Expert Platformer. I have not seen Scarlet Central or Out of Time, so I'm gonna have to look at those. Alright, so I looked at both of them. They're both time attack levels, which isn't my favorite genre of level, but Scarlet Central was really like overboard in visuals, I think, and Out of Time was just good in visuals, but nothing particularly like stood out too much for me. The Menhir and Arcturan are cool. Arcturan in particular, I didn't beat because I'm not a big fan of like weapon-based platformers, personally. Really, none of these levels are stuff that I'd want to like play myself. I think they're all great levels, but if I were to choose one, I'd probably have to go with Dead God Cult, because it's just genuinely really cool. Like, this dude made pretty much a whole indie game in Geometry Dash, and it looks sick. I have a lot of friends who like games like this, and I've recently kind of started playing some games like it. There's just something about it. I've seen all these levels, and that one just really stands out to me. Even though it's kind of the least Geometry Dash-like, I think it is a deserving vote. So we have Best Extreme Platformer now, and this one, at first, I thought was gonna be an easy choice. So I've only beaten 4 Extreme Demon platformers, and Labyrinth by Tricipital is one of them. I think that is one of the best platformers in the entire game. It's just so cool. It's so well made. I know the visuals are just pixel objects, but like, it's just so well done. Like, but then when I was watching the video and seeing what actually all got nominated, I completely forgot about Dead of Night. And yeah, Dead of Night's just the coolest platformer ever made. I mean, I'll say it. It's the best platformer ever made. I have to choose it. I have to. It's so creative. There's just so many good ideas. Just like, I remember watching the level when the video finally came out. The video's like over an hour long, and I was engaged with it the entire time. Definitely something I want to beat one day, but yeah, even though I've beaten Labyrinth and I really love it, I have to pick Dead of Night. This level is just so good. And now we're out of Geometry Dash itself, necessarily, and into Best GD Streamer, which, woo! Yeah, this is competitive. So, obviously, let's address the elephant in the room. Jinxie being on here is a little bit weird, because I would say pretty much all these streamers are like 99% Geometry Dash, except for King Samalot. He's more of a variety streamer, but he still streams a lot of Geometry Dash. Jinxie, he has streamed a lot of Geometry Dash in recent times, but like, he's not really a Geometry Dash streamer. He's not somebody you would consider a Geometry Dash streamer. If this voting was purely best streamer at all, I would pick Jinxie, because he's just hilarious and he's awesome. I think he's a great streamer. But in terms of like the Geometry Dash community, best GD streamer, I kind of just have to go against him. So obviously I don't speak Spanish, so I can't really vote for Sir Giester. That's unfortunately a bias that I can't control. It's a language barrier. But let's see, out of my options, out of everyone here that I've watched stream the most, besides Jinxie, it would come down really to Vortrox, Zoink, and Konix. I think they're the most entertaining streamers on here. But I would not have predicted this a year ago. But Konix is so funny, dude. I mean, like, I love Vortrox, but bro, Konix is just such a natural. He came into streaming and was just instantly just goated. Yeah, no, I mean, I joined this dude's streams and I always laugh when I tune in. Definitely if I want to watch a Geometry Dash stream, I'll tune into a Konix stream and I'll be the most entertained, you know? So that's my logic there for best YouTuber, this one's a little more concise and a little easier to go through. TCD is a really cool channel. I wouldn't put it up there as like my favorite GD channel though. I think it's cool and I watch their videos, but I'm always personally more engaged with like the more personal channels, like, you know, one person. EVW is literally my goat. Like, EVW is one of my favorite YouTubers of all time. I think he's a brilliant, shining, bald old man. I love him. How could you not love him? But in terms of who's like pushing the envelope for what can be done in this community with YouTube content nowadays, I think Colin and Vortrox are really just like at the top right now. Colin is funny and he's witty and his video ideas are really creative, and Vortrox, he's a little cringe, but he does a good job at implementing storytelling into his videos, and I do get a lot of enjoyment from it. This is really hard for me because these YouTubers are just so different. Colin and Vortrox are just such different YouTubers. I think if Vortrox were to push away a little bit more from the super buffing stuff and do a few more ideas on the original side, I'd probably vote for him. And that's not shade against Vortrox, like I love the dude, but Colin's videos are just always a banger, always original, creative, well written, just everything. I have to go with Colin here.
I love GD Cologne.
So we have best video. I've seen all these videos, and Vortrox says this is his favorite video, which I agree with. This is kind of what I mean by I want to see Vortrox do more of like this stuff than just like all the buffing and nerfing videos that he does. Those aren't bad videos, but you know, like if you want to win the best video award, this, like I survived 100 days of extreme demons, this is kind of what you gotta do. So do like that video. Geomtrash But You Were the Spike is good as well. I love audio visual for making creating content. The top two videos, like they're all right, but I don't really care as much for them as these bottom four. I think there's just something about this Colin video that's just so good. I mean, it's so funny. It's so well made. It's such a good bit for an April Fool's video. Like, it's just mwah, chef's kiss. Yeah, I have to pick the Colin video here. Once again, though, I'd probably pick Vortrox for second place in this one. So we're at the end here now. We have Best Classic Creator. Debihan, Darwin, Vegtam, Dujaido, Ivy Teal, Mine, and BPI. All of these creators are fantastic. If I'm going to be honest, though, really only one of them really hits hard for me personally, at least in more recent times, and I gotta go with Vegtam. Ever since 2.2 came out, he's just been making banger after banger. Yeah, I have to choose Vegtam. So we have Best Platformer Creator, Styphon TV, Moistened Egg, Noob, GD Ticklow, 16 Lord, and the J Shadow. So I actually had to look up Styphon TV. It turns out I've actually played most of his platformers. He's a good creator, but for like the best of the best in platformer, I think his levels are probably more on the basic side for me. His levels don't really stand out like other platformer creators' levels do for me. To be honest, this is like the first category where I can instantly come to mind somebody that I would have personally voted for. I would have probably chosen Hate Tag, but Hate Tag is not nominated here. So this is kind of tricky because J Shadow and Moistened Egg are such a good duo, so I want to pick one of them, but that's the thing, they're a great duo. On their own though, I think the J Shadow probably does it just a little bit more than Moistened Egg does for me. They're very similar creators, so it's hard to choose between them. Alright, and so we have Best Classic Player, and this is always a weird one because in Geometry Dash, most times in Geometry Dash history, we've pretty much had a cut and dry best player. We've never really had like, oh, well these three players are all very similar in skill level and either one of them could be the best. It's like we've kind of had that, but like most of the time it's always been cut and dry. And I mean, W Popoff is kind of close to Zoink, but it's really just no competition. I mean, Zoink is not your ordinary player. There is nobody that even comes close to Zoink. Zoink is just so far beyond in his own world of amazingness when it comes to playing, and we see it because he streams all the time and he plays a bunch of different levels. So it's really it's impossible to pick any other person besides Zoink, and I feel bad because all these players are great, but you know, obviously Zoink is the most popular, but that's because he's the best. Yeah, I can't not pick Zoink here. And this one is probably the hardest one. Because I'm going to be real, I don't know any of these people. I think that the platforming community still has a lot of room to grow in this game. I don't have any problems with the platformer community, but it's still relatively small compared to the general playing community, especially when it comes to top platformer play. So I was going to skip this one, but I ended up looking at 3 different platformer leaderboards. And what I found out is RevNotRev seems to be number 1. He's number 1 on both the all-rated extreme Extreme Demon leaderboards, and I think the P-man list. And then there was a platformer demon list, which is separate, which had, I think, Tanuklin as number 2 and some other guy at number 1 that's not on here. And then Dashing is also pretty high up on these lists. I think he's number 3 on the All Extreme Demon list. So I don't know any of these people, so it's really hard to vote on, but when you look into it, it does seem that generally the best is considered to be Rev Not Ruv. So I'm going to be giving my vote to Rev Not Ruv, but it would be really cool in the future to see we have like a clear, just dominant platformer player like we do with classic mode players like Zoink. But yeah, ending it off with a really hard one. But there we go. Those are my votes for the Geometry Dash Awards 2026 as a jury. I hope that I've shown that as a jury, I know what I'm talking about a little bit. Yeah, I might have different opinions than yours, but I did my research and I voted it as fairly as I could. So I wish best of luck to everybody that was involved with this contest, because I think if you got nominated in the first place, you're doing something right, and that's just awesome. I want to thank everybody that voted for me. I don't know who you are or why you voted for me, but I really appreciate it. It was super cool to have this opportunity when only like 200 people got to do this, and you guys chose me as one of them. I also want to thank you if you got to the end of this video for watching. It'd be cool if you dropped a subscribe, maybe? Maybe like the video? Yeah, I think that's it.